Darling, darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.
Welcome to your midweek yoga chakra series. This is the 5th of 7 practices that's dedicated to the chakra system. So we will be exploring the 5th chakra. It is known as the Vishudi or Vishuddha chakra, also known as the throat chakra. And it's not only associated with the neck, but it's also associated with the shoulders. It's associated with the mouth and the ears. It's where we express our creativity through sound and vibration. So without further ado, I'd like to invite you to get into child's pose, whatever comfortable child's pose that is for you, whether that's knees together or knees opened up a little bit towards the edges of the mat, sitting back on your heels, and maybe just sliding those hands forward onto the mat. The goal here tonight would be able to connect the hairline to the mat if that's not in your practice and you need to put a little block there to lift yourself up. That's fine as well. You can also invite a blanket or a towel just to cushion the head a little bit as you lean in and just come into your natural breath. I'm also going to invite you, since this is a throat chakra practice, to bend the elbows and maybe clasp the hands behind the back of the head. So that's going to just allow the neck to open up a little bit and just feel a slight little drawing of those hands down and forward. And again, just opening up the back of the neck. Might be also a nice time to draw that chin in towards the chest. So we're getting a nice opening of the cervical spine all the way down the back towards the tailbone. And maybe imagine that you can breathe in through the base of the tailbone, up the whole length of the spine, right to this area, and then exhale out the same way. And just settling in to that breathing pattern, allowing the spine to fill up on the inhale and on the exhale, maybe just drawing that belly towards the spine, allowing that last bit of air to come out. The Vishudi chakra, Vishudi in Sanskrit means purely or purification. This is the chakra of connection through the ease of communication. It's the vehicle of truth and clarity. It affects the endocrine system as well as the auditory system. This chakra is not just about speaking, but also about feeling heard and listening. Imagine the color aqua blue or light blue associated with this chakra. It contains a 16-petal lotus flower. The symbol of this chakra is a dot inside of an upside down triangle. The element associated with this chakra is ether, and it is the source of self-expression, such as poetry or music. Just a couple of more breaths here in child's pose. And perhaps on your next exhale, start to walk the hands back towards the knees as you slowly rise into our table or cat-cow. And we're just going to take our cat-cows a little bit differently. Normally the cue would be to inhale and allow that belly to drop for cow, and to exhale and allow that back to arch up for cat. Tonight, I'd love for you to try inhaling with the cat pose. So the chin is going to draw towards the chest. The tailbone is going to rise towards the sky. You certainly can come up on the balls of your feet for this as the belly draws in and the hip and the shoulders and head draw down. On the exhale, as the belly lowers and the hips and the shoulders almost draw together, the head is going to rise. And maybe we could just have a little fun tonight with lion's breath, taking the tongue out of the mouth as far as you can and just an audible on the exhale. So really allowing that air to come out through the throat. And again, on the inhale, coming back up for cat, really crunching in there, drawing the chin in, nice stretch in the back. And on the exhale, curling the tailbone back, tongue comes out for lion's breath. So the shoulders really draw back almost towards the hips, and the hips draw towards the shoulders. And just keep going at your own pace for your inhale. for cat, and your exhales for cow, or in this case, lion's breath. And if you want to go a little bit faster, maybe just to warm up the body a little bit, I have my fan in my room going this evening. It's already starting to get a little warmer. So I'm just going to go a little bit faster pace for my cat cows or my cat lion's breath. And just make sure you're getting the full extension of your poses here. So really arching that back on the exhale, and on the inhale, dropping that chin, really drawing it towards the chest. I'm going to take 2 more. As we settle in, take a couple of breaths here in table. And then walk the hands back towards the knees, and we're going to sit in Tadasana pose. So that's in kneeling pose. If that's uncomfortable for you, I again invite you to take your towel or blanket underneath your knees. You can also grab a block, stick that between your heels on lower or high level, and just sit there for just a moment. I'm also going to ask you possibly to see about closing the eyes and going into yourself. This chakra, although is about expression, we also want to be able to draw inward. On the inhales, drawing the crown up towards the sky, feeling the tailbone draw down towards the heels, feeling that nice extension happening in the spine. We're going to take our hands and place them right at the upper pectoral muscles of the chest. So the palm is going to press in there, and the fingers are just going to lightly fall right over the clavicle or collarbone. Elbows are going to draw down, which is going to have a little drag sensation happening in the upper chest as we inhale and exhale. And that's going to give a nice little massage or a little stretch of the fascia, which is the tissue located beneath the layers of skin that encapsulate and surround our muscles. On the inhale, crown of the head is going to draw up towards the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to take the head and we're just going to tilt it over towards the right. So the left palm is doing a little bit more work here. The right ear is going to draw towards the shoulder, but the right shoulder is going to draw away from the right ear. So we get a nice little side neck stretch here. Imagine still drawing those elbows down towards the earth, and maybe taking inhales for a count of 4 and exhales for a count of 4. Just really enjoying that stretch a little bit longer. Maybe taking a nice round, one more round of inhale, exhale here. Before we inhale and the head comes up to center, crown drawing up again, once again towards the sky, tailbone drawing down, nice straight back. As we exhale, and now we tilt the head to the left ear drawing towards left shoulder, but left shoulder drawing away from the left ear. Elbows drawing down, and feeling the drag now of the right palm, especially on that upper right pectoral muscle. And sometimes it's nice to even just take the fingertips and give a little tapping sensation right there. And start the press again, and start your breathing, your count maybe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. One more round here on your own. And on the next inhale, head comes up to center. We're going to raise the arms up, nice straight elbows, drawing the shoulders back. The inhale is going to allow our fingers to really extend towards the ceiling. Feel free to look up there at your fingers, get a nice little stretch of the neck. And on the exhale, the fingertips are going to come down to the shoulder mounds. So the right fingertips will be on the right shoulder mound, left fingertips on the left shoulder mound, elbows are pointing out towards their own sides. Again, nice inhale here, drawing the crown up towards the sky, tailbone tucking under, maybe feeling a little bit of that pelvic engagement. As we exhale, start to turn the torso towards the right. So the right elbow is going to go towards the back of the room, left elbow towards the front. And once you've gone as far as you can on that exhale, we're going to just take the chin and give a little bit more of a turn of the neck. So we're just giving a little twist, a little rotation of the neck towards the back of the room. And again, maybe just allowing those eyes to settle in, jaw relaxes. As we breathe in for a few rounds in our twist, we're going to talk about crystals that help us sometimes open up or balance this chakra. So anything that has the color blue or aqua blue, lapis lazuli, aquamarine, turquoise, blue lace agate, and chalcedony. We also get into more of those aqua colors through amazonite, which has a little green tint, angelite, apatite, kyanite, and sodalite. Lots of lights. We're going to inhale and come back to center. Take that crown up towards the sky again, nice neutral position here as the tailbone draws down. One nice inhale. And on the exhale, start to turn that torso towards the left now. And once we've gone as far as we can, we're going to continue the exhales and inhales with the left elbow pointing towards the back of the room, right elbow pointing towards the front of the room, and maybe the gaze is also going towards the back. Feeling that nice twist and opening in the neck on the side. And exploring some of the scents or essential oils that help open up this chakra. Think of spicy, minty smells such as cloves, frankincense, and myrrh, cinnamon, black pepper, peppermint, eucalyptus, and even tea tree oil. A couple of more breaths here. Maybe grounding in on that right knee or right sits bone to really get a nice turn before we inhale, coming back to center. One more stretch up towards the sky. Maybe wiggling out the fingers, rolling the wrists, and bringing the arms down and just giving a little bit of a roll to the shoulders before we come back into our table. And maybe just take one last inhale and exhale, however you like, through your cat-cow. Just making sure you're getting full extension of the pose. Maybe wiggling the hips a little, allowing the head to drop, shaking it yes and no, really tucking the tailbone in on your cat. And when you're ready, curling the toes under, rising up for our first down dog. So the hips are going to draw to the sky. We're going to let the head drop, externally rotating those inner elbow creases to support our shoulders. Nice spread of the fingers, maybe even a little bit of buoyancy on the feet. Feel free to walk your dog. Feel free to lift your heels and drop them down. And certainly if a bent knee down dog is more suitable for your practice tonight, go for it. Just allow the length of the spine to draw up from the tippy top of that triangle that your body is forming. And then we're just going to settle in for a few minutes. Again, just going inward with the breath. Maybe engaging that chin towards the chest, that bandha in your throat chakra. Drawing the belly towards the spine. And then we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. If there's any props in your way, we just move those out to the side and take a nice forward fold here. So really enjoy it. Again, you can clasp those hands behind the head, back the occipital lobe. Or you can just let the arms hang and let the head hang. Maybe a little rag doll, swaying side to side, bending each knee, straightening the opposite leg, getting a nice little swing happening. You can even clasp opposite elbows with opposite hands and just feel those shoulders really almost loosening up and dropping down along with the crown of the head, not forgetting to breathe. Slowly, we're going to press up through the feet to rise. So that can be either just springing right up with hands overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, or rolling up one vertebrae at a time. On the exhale, we're going to take that hand clasp again behind the head. We're going to look up towards the sky, maybe pressing the hips forward slightly, drawing the belly in, allowing the elbows to draw outward, right elbow to right side, left elbow to left side, just supporting that head as it draws back for a little back bend. Nice breath here. On the next inhale, start to rise up. And then go right into your exhale, forward fold, bringing the head down. And starting our sun salutations by pressing the palms into the shins for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold one more time before we start to walk the hands out for our plank pose. From plank, we're going to exhale, drop the knees, tops of the feet flatten, bending the elbows, coming into low cobra. So we want to hold this pose just for a couple of minutes here with each of the sun salutations, drawing the chin forward. So we don't want to overextend the neck, but we do want to open up that front throat. So drawing those elbows really close to the body gives a nice support. We can engage the belly, lifting up that chest, allowing that chin just to come a little bit more forward. Drawing the tailbone actively towards our heels. See if you can just loosen your glutes. Just let them go. Let your hands support you. Let your belly support you for a nice stretch for low cobra. On the exhale, curling the toes under, rising up for downward facing dog. Walking the hands back towards the feet, forward fold. Inhale, pressing up. Rising up for Urdhva Hastasana, and we're going to take our Tadasana in just a little different way tonight by lowering those fingertips towards those shoulder mounds. So once again, elbows are going to be pointing out towards the sides. And we're almost actively pushing our shoulders down. So the neck just can jut out just a little bit, nice little back bend again, allowing the hips to come forward slightly. Tailbone draws down, couple of breaths here. Going inward, maybe enjoying an eyes closed sun salutation. Inhaling, rising back up. Exhale, forward fold, coming down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands press on the shins. Exhale, we're going to walk those hands back out towards plank, lowering the knees. Exhaling, allowing the chest to drop, chin to rise for low cobra. Coming back to all those same cues, engaging the belly, drawing the shoulders back, elbows close to the body, tailbone towards the heels, loosen those glutes, maybe even coming up on the fingertips. Really feeling that chin coming out, gaze straight ahead. And then exhale, curling the toes under, coming back into our downward dog. Take a breath here if you need it. Before walking the hands back towards the feet, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, rising it back up to Urdhva Hastasana. And this time, taking the hands to the upper pecs again, drawing down that fascia from the collarbone. Elbows drawing down to create a little drag there as we inhale. Exhale, enjoying a nice little Tadasana here, opening up our Vishudi Chakra. On the next inhale, drawing the crown up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands out to plank, knees, chest, chin for our final cobra in our sun sals. Get a nice little stretch there before we exhale, curling the toes back up to downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here, checking our alignment, making sure the crown of the head is drawing towards the ground, fingers are spread wide. Nice buoyancy in the feet. Maybe drawing the belly up towards the tailbone. Stepping into that left foot, we're going to take the right toes up towards the sky.
We're in three-legged dog here as we bend that right knee and we go for some circles, maybe forward with the knee, drawing some circles back. And if you're so inclined, you can actually see if you can take that right foot, bring it behind you. Ooh, I'm hitting bells for a wild thing. So we're bending into the knees. We have the press of the left hand and that right arm is opening up. Now you might want to just take it behind your neck to support. See if you can get a nice back bend in there and just let that head fall right into the palm of the hand. A couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, bending into that knee, reaching the right hand back over towards the mat, coming back up to our three-legged dog. We're going to move forward and see if we could just get a little push up here. As we lower down, drinking bird. We can let the right foot join. We're on our belly. As you guessed it, we rise up for Cobra. Now you can take a low or high Cobra here, engaging the chin before we curl the toes under, heading back to our downward facing dog. Again, maybe actively drawing the chin down towards the chest, engaging the bandha. Maybe a little ujjayi breath happening automatically. Before we come up with the left toes towards the ceiling for three-legged dog. Bending that left leg, we're just gonna do our knee circles. Couple to the front, couple to the back. Opening up those hip flexors before we let the foot drop. Wild thing. Pressing the hips up towards the sky. Nice amount of weight distributed between the feet. Right arm's working a little bit, but we're going to take that left hand and maybe support the head so that the head can just draw back. And when you're ready, bending into the knees, take that left hand over to the mat. Left foot is going to come up towards the ceiling. As we just come up on the toe and we slide down for a little drinking bird. We take that left foot now to the ground. And again, coming up in your version of Cobra. Just encouraging you to really get the nice neck stretch. Curling the toes, coming back into downward facing dog. Lowering the knees, maybe sliding the hands forward for puppy pose. So this time, engaging the chest to the mat. Again, you can bring in a prop to bring the floor up to you, whether that's a block or even a cushion or a blanket. And just taking a few breaths here in your puppy pose. Allowing that breath to come once again through the tailbone, the back of the neck. And start to come up into your table. Take a couple of cat cows if you need it. You're going to be doing a lot of back bends again this week for this chakra. So make sure that that spine feels nice, loose, and lubricated. Just like the fascia that you have surrounding your neck, which is in your shoulders, front and back. We just can't reach the back fascia very easily ourselves. But maybe later you can find someone to give you a little back massage. When you're ready, we're going to come up into down dog. That right leg is going to go high to the sky. And then we're going to step it up between the hands. We're going to lower that left knee down, flatten the top of the foot. Left hand plants down as the right comes up towards the sky for a little lunge twist. And if it's in your practice, you can bend that left knee, take the right hand, find that left foot, and lean in for a little back bend. Pressing the left top of the foot towards the right hand, maybe even coming on the outer edge of that right foot. So that right knee is drawing towards the right, really opening up the hip flexors, allowing that head to just drop back. Releasing that left foot very slowly. We're going to take the right foot, swinging it to the back of the mat. So we're up on that left knee. The left arm is going to plant nice 90-degree angle, and maybe that right outer edge of the right foot is drawing down towards the mat, really pressing in there in the supported side plank. The right hand is going to come up towards the sky, but you guessed it, we're going to be able to bring it back to support our head and see if we can just lean in again. Now you really need to actively press on that outer right edge of the foot. It's almost like a kickstand. That's your stability. Allowing that head to just drop back. Right elbow up towards the sky. And on your next exhale, that right hand comes down. We rise up for plank. Exhale, allow the hips to drop for upward facing dog. So just a different way to get a little neck stretch and chest stretch. Before we exhale, coming back to downward dog. Couple of breaths here before we go on to the other side. Left toes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, footsteps between the hands. This time the right knee is going to come down. We're going to plant that right foot, pressing into the right hand on the mat, peeling that left arm up towards the sky, bending that right knee if it's in your practice, and reaching for that right foot with the left hand, rolling onto the outer edge of that left foot, drawing that left knee towards the left, really allows everything to open up. Chest comes up towards the sky, chin comes up as well, head draws back. Pressing into the right hand, allowing the right foot to press into the left hand, stabilizing your pose. And when you're ready, release that foot. Left hand comes to the mat. We're going to sweep that left foot to the back of the mat. Supported on that right knee. Get your nice right angles happening with that supported arm. Left foot is a little bit towards the front of the mat as we really lean and press into that left edge. So the left arm can come up. Maybe reach back, supporting the back of the neck or the back of the head, and just leaning in. Again, imagining you can draw that chest right up towards the sky. You're just hanging out, relaxing. Really allowing that left outer edge of the foot to do some work for you. And when you're ready, release the hand to the mat. We're going to come up into our plank. Drop the hips down and see how an upward facing dog feels. Drawing the shoulders back. And on the exhale, downward facing dog. And if you'd like to drop the knees and take another puppy pose, this would be a wonderful time to do that. Otherwise, stay in your down dog and play around with some of the movement. I really do enjoy a good puppy pose. It's a wonderful heart opener as well as throat chakra opener. Sometimes I can even engage my chin onto the mat and just allow this time to acknowledge your inner feelings, realizing your self-uniqueness, because this is also the area where we create through sound and through vibration, where we express our true self. 2 more nice full breaths in here. Again, maybe focusing on the breath coming in and out of the throat or the back of the neck. And when you're ready, rising up, walking the hands back into table, curling the toes under for downward facing dog. Right foot comes up towards the ceiling. Knee comes towards the nose as we step our foot between the hands. This time the left foot is going to ground down in the heel. So we're setting ourselves up here for warrior 1. Bending into that right knee, reaching forward and up. Chest faces forward, right knee forward, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. And maybe we start to look up towards the sky. Once again, maybe support the back of the head with our clasped hands. And just really lean in there. You can really push yourself to that right front knee, a nice bend. Opening up the left hip flexor. Elbows can point up towards the ceiling or out to the sides. I kind of like in between. We're going to straighten that front leg and slowly start to hinge forward. So this might be another great time to bring in some blocks if you want to hold on each side for your pyramid. You certainly can shorten your stance if that feels comfortable. And just allow the head to hang. So no more pulling. You don't need to exaggerate anything here. Just allow the head to drop. Chin, again, drawing towards the chest. Actively engaging the belly. Drawing the inner thighs almost towards each other. So it seems like a passive pose, but it's quite active. Sometimes forward folds bring up some agitation, especially after back bending. Next inhale, we're going to press into that left hand, and we're going to start to slowly peel the right arm up towards the ceiling. So that means you're going to have that right hip bone drawing back towards the right. You're going to kind of plug it into its socket. Try to keep that left heel down if you can't. Again, it's a great place to put a little blanket or something to support you. But if it needs to come up, it can come up. No big deal. We're going to do our Revolve Triangle here. Couple of breaths. Allowing the crown to draw towards the front of the room. Nice extension here, maybe a nice line coming up from the left wrist all the way to the right. And allow that hand to come down now. And we're going to place the right hand a little bit forward of the right foot, and the left hand's going to be right on the same plane as that right hand. I'm going to bend that right knee just to get some buoyancy. See if we can just bring that left leg up. Floating the toes, maybe allowing the crown of the head, really trusting yourself here. Trusting that counterbalance of the head dropping, the right knee may have a little micro bend, but we're going for a straight leg. Maybe you take one of the hands away and hold the ankle. Maybe you take both hands away and really allow the head to drop in your standing split pose. Slowly bring the left foot to join the right. As we press up and reverse swan dive, coming up to our Tadasana. Again, maybe clasping the hands behind the head or allowing your fingertips to rest on the shoulder mounds, chin drawing up towards the sky, a little mini back bend here, a couple of breaths. As you inhale, arms rise up for Urdhvastasana. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to step into our warrior one this time. So take the right foot towards the back of the mat. Get your right toes pointing up towards the right front of the mat. Really bending into that left knee. Maybe it nestles into your armpit. Rooting down that right heel. You start to look forward, reach forward, rising up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Gaze starts to go towards the upper corner of the room. As the chin comes up, maybe we decide to support our head with our clasped hands at the occipital bone, allowing the head to draw back, allows the left knee to bend a little bit forward, really falling in. Shoulders just kind of coming out at angles on the sides, maybe to each side corner of the room. On the exhale, we're going to straighten that front leg, and we're going to start to slowly hinge forward. So again, you can have some props, you can shorten your stance. Object of the game is to just allow the head to drop in your forward fold, releasing the spine. Maybe the chin comes towards the chest again, engaging that little bandha. Maybe feeling a little ujjayi or ocean breath here. On the next inhale, we're going to press that right hand into the mat and start to peel the left arm up towards the sky for our Revolve Triangle. Keeping the distance from the right ear to the right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder. Nice straight elbows. Clean line from the right wrist to the left wrist. Little micro bend in the front knee if you have to have it. And a little lift on the back heel if you have to have it. Otherwise, I'm going to take a couple more breaths. Engaging the belly towards the spine, maybe just encouraging ourselves to twist a little bit more. Gazes up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, that left hand is going to come down towards the mat, but we're going to make it a little bit more in front of the left foot. The right hand is going to join it a little bit forward and get some buoyancy. As we kick the right foot up, toes pointing towards the ceiling, head drops for standing split. Again, playing with the hands, you can walk them out a little bit further front. Maybe that gives you some stability or sense of stability to draw your crown down. You can go for an ankle grab. Number two, try different hands, see how that feels. And just allow that nice fold to happen. On the exhale, that right foot is going to join the left. We're going to press up, reverse swan dive, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, put those hands perhaps on the upper pectorals again for a nice little fascia stretch in our Tadasana. Enjoy the inhale as the crown rises up. Knees are engaged, quads are engaged, lower glutes. Maybe the belly is drawing towards the spine as we feel that elongation of the neck. On the inhale, rising up, Urdhva Hastasana, hands to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Get yourself back to down dog. Maybe that's a hop. Maybe it's through a chaturanga. And we're all going to end up here in downward facing dog. Couple of breaths, just kind of letting it all fall back in. Before we come up on our toes, down on our knees into table, and we walk our hands back again for another Vajrasana. Now, once again, if that's not comfortable and you need a little support, we are going to be here for a moment or two or three or four. And we just want to welcome our own authentic expression into the asana, just as you would welcome truth spoken from a friend. I'm going to just set up here for Camel Pose. So if you can rise up on your knees, that would be great. If you do have those two props and you want to take one block to the outer left ankle and the other block to the outer right ankle, maybe start on a tall position. If not, the pose will eventually be hands touching the heels. So you can always curl your toes, get those heels a little bit higher. We're going to really inhale, drawing straight up towards the sky, taking the palms and placing them at the back, high buttocks, almost as if you're putting your hands in back pockets. We're going to draw the belly in. Make sure that the shoulders are nice and loose. The jaw is nice and loose. Feel free to open and close. Maybe take a little yawn. I kind of like to close my eyes here too. It sort of takes away the distraction of realizing that I am completely bending over backwards and seeing the back of the room. We're going to start to press in with the palms and start to allow that chin to draw up towards the sky. Sometimes on an inhale, that's nice. And you can either stay here or you can exhale and start to reach for your blocks, maybe on fingertips, maybe on flat hands, fingers pointing towards the knees. Or maybe you're able to just grab on to the backs of the heels and see if you can just allow yourself to fall. We don't want to hurt ourselves, but falling is part of the process. You might just fall right into the pose, allowing the chest to open on the inhale, keeping that jaw really loose, eyes loose. And on the next inhale, start to rise up. And maybe sit back on your heels or onto that prop. We're going to inhale, taking the hands up towards the sky. We're going to take the left palm as if we can press it up towards the sky. I'm going to take the right palm and press it over the left palm. So that's sort of force my elbows to be a little bit spread. I'm going to start to slowly inhale and exhale and see if we can press that left palm into the right palm. The right palm is going to press into the left palm. And eventually those elbows will start to straighten. You just got to work it out, work your breath. Like I said, maybe you have your eyes closed, or maybe there's just a little soft focus in front of you until you can really feel those upper arms nestling right next to your ears. So you can almost hear the blood flowing through your armpits. Really active pose here. Engaging the belly towards the backbone, maybe even a little tilt of the pelvis or the torso. We're going to go through some of the signs that the throat chakra may be out of balance. So if you have any difficulty expressing your thoughts, or maybe talking without thinking, words just flowing through, or perhaps difficulty making sound decisions, and even some social anxiety, could be signs of an imbalance here in your Vishudi or Vishuddha throat chakra. On the exhale, we're going to let the arms come down. We're going to just shake out those wrists. And I like to shake them quite a bit. If you've done this with me before, I learned from one of my teachers that the idea of shaking out parts of the body is so that we just don't feel that tension anymore. So when your hands and your arms start to feel like little rubber chickens, you might want to get your elbows in there too tonight and really just go crazy. Maybe you're rolling some dice. That's a great TikTok dance move I learned this summer. Maybe take the hands up, take them down, little orangutan arms. And when they feel really rubbery, you've done your job. So we are going to inhale, and we're going to do that again, but the opposite. So if you just want to give your shoulders a little bit of a roll, we're going to inhale. This time, the right palm is going to go up towards the sky. Left palm is going to come on top of the right. We're going to inhale and exhale, pressing till we get those elbows straight. And our ears are almost nestling into our upper arms. Nice active pose, drawing the belly in, tilting that pelvis for support. As we talk about some signs of blockages in the Vishudi Chakra. So neck stiffness or acute sore throat, any thyroid or endocrine problems. TMJ for jaw pain, as well as ear aches, could be signs of blockages in this chakra. So we can employ the crystals or the oils that we spoke about, and certainly any of the asana practice for tonight, especially opening up and rolling that neck. When you're ready, we're going to exhale, shake it out. And however you can get yourself into lying down on your back, I really, really, really recommend for a fish pose that you have a block. So we kind of lay that block right about the line of where a bra strap would be, or just at the lower shoulder blade area. And this is like really awesome. I see Elisa is bringing in a yoga wheel. Love that. That's a great way to do fish. And it's going to be a nice support for you because you can just slowly start to come down onto your forearms. And then maybe your feet come out where your toes point straight down towards the bottom of the mat. And you might be able to just allow that neck to drop back. The chin draws up. And it's really a super relaxing pose if you have a prop. Of course, if we don't have a prop, the other option is to take the palms of our hands, just cup the backs of the buttocks, just like we did in our camel pose. That supports the lower back. The forearms are down on the mat, and then we can let the head drop there. Another option is to have a cushion or a pillow behind the head when you drop it back. Because again, for some of us, that's just a little bit agitating and scary to see the world upside down. And just like we did in camel, just trying to take a nice ease of breath, allowing the jaw to relax, see what the tongue is doing, cheekbones, allow the inner ear to open. Notice the sounds around you. Notice the sensation of the earlobes, tops of the ears. Allowing the eye sockets to draw back. And when and if you're ready, turning the palms towards the mat, pressing into the forearms as you slowly, 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 slowly start to lift your head, chin to chest. And then maybe just remove that block or prop or pillow. And then we can slowly start to lay back down on our mats. And we're going to come into a little shoulder stand here. So if that's not in your practice and you're just like, yeah, I'm good, you can actually put a prop underneath your lower tailbone or take your hands and just bring your feet right up towards the sky. Maybe the foot is flexed and just have your forward fold that way. If shoulder stand is in your practice, it's really just a matter of momentum. So I like to press my hands into the mat, bring my feet overhead, and then slowly start to draw my toes up towards the sky. So again, the chin here is drawing towards the chest. The hands are sort of walking up your back, supported by the elbows. Toes are nice and engaged. Belly draws in. And we start to think about maybe ocean breath here. Listening to the rise and fall of the waves in our ears. Allowing the jaw to relax. Feeling that nice opening in the back of the neck, as if your cervical spine can almost completely make contact with the mat. Any little wiggles or movements, if you want to get your hips a little bit higher, just try and slow down the breath. I know that's a lot to ask if you've never done this pose before, but when you can get it slowed down and you can feel that smooth passage of air from the tip of the nose to the chest, maybe filling up the belly and going back the other way, it's quite relaxing. And then if it's also in your practice, you can allow those toes to completely come up over your head for plow. So I like to then bring my palms back down towards the mat, use that as leverage, and make contact with my toes on the floor. That's a little hard to talk to you like this. So another great idea is you can actually throw a block behind you. So if you can't get your toes all the way to the floor, or like me, can't talk in plow, just gives you a higher lift. A little bit more space there in the abdomen to breathe, and a nice opening at the back throat chakra. When you're ready, slowly, 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 maybe vertebrae by vertebrae, lowering the back down, the tailbone, finally arriving with legs up in the air. For you guys who've had your legs there for a minute, you can bend at the knees, maybe just take a little active rest where the knees come in together. Maybe even just a few little mini windshield wipers. And you certainly can draw your knees to your chest and do any kind of little happy babies or any last minute little wiggles, and just allowing everything to open up. And then of course, I'm going to invite you to come into your Shavasana. So you're going to let your feet come to the outer edges of the mat, perhaps grab any little bolsters or supports that you may need to comfort you. Again, a lot of back bends here tonight, so it's always good to have some kind of support behind those lower thighs in Shavasana. You can just kind of drape them over some blocks or cushion or a rolled up blanket. And as you start to wind down now, let's focus on that little ujjayi breath that we were talking about. So again, that's the constriction at the back of the throat on the inhale and on the exhale. And you can even take your pointer finger, just stick it right at the top of the neck or the back of the chin. There was a little spot. And imagine just breathing in. You can even press just a little bit into that top of the esophagus. And you're just breathing in through the nose, coming into that spot, feeling a little constriction. And on the exhale, same constriction for your ujjayi, ocean breath. And maybe start to focus in on the sounds of the waves coming in and out. And the hands come towards the sides. Maybe just a little bit of space in the armpits. Palms can be up or down. Shoulders draw back. Neck is nice and loose and draws back towards the mat. Maybe just a little rocking of the head very slowly side to side, just feeling that connectivity of the skull. As the forehead melts, cheekbones melt, jawbone melts, inner ear melts, earlobes. Feeling the throat soften as you fall into just a natural breath now. The rise and fall of the chest, in sync with the rise and fall of the belly. allowing the hips just to feel a little bit more relaxed as they spread and draw down towards the mat. Glutes, hamstrings, knees, lower legs, heels, fingertips, toe tips, all drawing down as you enjoy these last few moments of your Shavasana. Slowly start to come back to your space, maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes. Perhaps deepening the breath. Maybe taking a nice inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, a sigh or your lion's breath. And only when you're ready, slowly move to one side or the other. Maybe bringing the knees up towards the chest and just taking a nice long inhale, smooth exhale in your fetal position. Supported perhaps by one arm under your head, supporting your neck, and one arm out in front on the floor. As you slowly press into that hand, rising to your sitting position. And whatever's comfortable for you tonight in Sukhasana, making sure that the head is the last to rise. I'm going to invite you tonight to form almost a lotus flower, similar to what we did for our celebration of the Anahata or heart chakra the last time we were together. So almost feel like that's the formation that you're going to have. And you're going to open up the thumbs and let them wrap around the sides of your neck. So now the bottom of your lotus flower is just sort of nestled in there at the collarbone. And your fingers, perhaps the index finger goes right behind your earlobes. The middle finger right towards the front of the ear. Ring finger is around the cheek area, and pinkies are just below the mouth. I'm gonna just slowly start to inhale, allowing the crown to just rise on the inhale and fall on the exhale. I'm just paying tribute and honor to this place of sacred communication, self-truth, being sure that we listen, being sure that we are heard. And then just to close off, we're going to do our throat chakra mantra, which is hum. That's H-A-M, hum. So as always, we're going to lengthen out the A. And at the end, we're going to lengthen out the like we do in Om. So we're going to take a nice inhale, exhale together. And on the second inhale, we're going to exhale with the mantra hum. And we can do that maybe 3 times tonight. So let's all inhale together, eyes closed. Exhale, feel free to lion breath it out. And on your next inhale, exhale, hum. Feeling that delicious vibration, inhaling again. Exhale, hum. One more time. One more inhale as we bring hands together in prayer, Anjali Mudra, bowing our chins to our chest, thanking ourselves for coming to our practice, thanking each other for joining in our virtual community. I certainly thank you as always. Bringing thumb knuckles to third eye, slight little bow in additional gratitude, wishing you namaste. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.
Darling, darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.